Today, I want to encourage us with our connection with God, our connection with Holy Spirit, our connection with Jesus. What is that connection like? I listened to such a good sermon in this week from Pastor Bill Johnson, and he was speaking about the difference between simply being aware of someone and actually seeing their face, reading their expression, seeing their eyes. And I want you to picture this. I want you to picture yourself in a busy room, lots of people, and someone that you know is standing there. You're aware of them. You can't really see their facial expression. Perhaps they have their back turned towards you, speaking to someone, but you know they are there. You can hear them faintly. You can see other people's responses towards that person. You can see who's talking to him. You can see their interaction, but you can't see their face. And I want you to picture the difference between experiencing that and experiencing that person up close and personal, seeing their face, seeing their eyes, seeing their response. When you can see someone's face, you know their heart, you know their approval, you know what they're thinking. You can sense that feedback when you're looking at someone's face. There is a difference between simply being aware of someone's presence and seeing their eyes and being face to face with someone. And that's what I want to encourage us with this morning. What is your experience of Jesus? What is your experience of Holy Spirit? Are you experiencing Him simply through someone else's response? Simply through hearing Him in the background, or seeing what kind of people are around Him, hearing what it sounds like, experiencing Him through someone else? Or are you locked in on the face of Jesus? And David writes about this. He writes in Psalm 27 verse 8, and he says, Lord, your face is all I seek. I will seek your face, that closeness, that locked in with Him. And we see this so often in the church, and realize that I was just having a conversation with my husband in the week, just realizing that there are people around us, and we feel like we know Him. But if you haven't realized what it is like being face to face with Him, you think you know Him, but you're actually experiencing Him through someone else, through someone else's revelation, through someone else's experience of who He is. He's calling us to closeness. He's calling us to be locked in on His face. You see, the thing is this: when we're just aware of Him, aware of who He is, knowing from far, our connection with Him isn't strong enough. Our connection with God, our connection with Holy Spirit cannot withstand tossing. It cannot withstand distractions. It cannot withstand tension or pressure when pressure comes, when distractions come, when people surround us. When you're in a room filled with people and your eye is not locked in face to face with someone, you will be distracted by a conversation that comes your way, or by something that pulls you this, or by the tray of food that comes your way, because it's easy. But when you're locked in conversation with someone, it's like those things they don't have effect on you. If you're locked in on conversation with someone, the distractions don't distract. The noise doesn't have the same impact. So looking at our connection with Jesus and the strength of that connection is so important. And this is something we learned from a man called Danny Silk, and he is a relationship expert. He's also a pastor, and he speaks about the strength of your connection. Obviously, this can apply to any relationship, whether it be with your spouse or your children or a friend. What is the strength of your connection? Are you connected to Holy Spirit, to His face, to Him, with a thread, with a thin thread that when there's wind, or when there's distractions, or when there's pressure, it breaks, and you find yourself tossing and turning and being just overwhelmed by noise? Or is your connection to God's heart, to His presence, to His face, like a heavy duty rope? I'm thinking of those ropes that they use out at sea or connected to the dock. These oil tankers are connected with ropes that can withstand great storms. That connection keeps you closely locked in to God's heart, to His face, to His expression, to who He is, to His nature, to His response, to His feedback, His input in your life. It's only through the strength of that connection, being strong, locked into His face, that you can be in a noisy room, that you can be in a room filled with influences, distracting voices, and remain fixed and remain steadfast on God's eyes, on His purpose, on His promise, on what He has for you and who He is to you. I want to encourage you, if you find yourself knowing Jesus through someone else's experience of Him, knowing Jesus through perhaps someone else, through someone else's testimony, or through someone else's your relationship, it's not enough. You need to know Him for yourself. You need to know Him. Your heart needs to be connected to His heart. And that is how we are victorious in life. It's how we win in life. So I hope this encourages you today, that you will go and be intentional to strengthen that connection. Be intentional in when you find yourself tossing and turning and being distracted, go in intentionally and seek His face, seek His eyes, seek His heart for yourself. Don't run to someone else. Don't listen to other people. Go for yourself and go seek His heart, go seek His voice. I know that if you do this, and I know for myself that if I do this, we will win, we will be victorious, and we will remain fixed and steadfast in a noisy world where there's lots of things happening around us. I hope this blesses you. May you keep on winning. May you keep on being victorious through Jesus at work in your life. Bless you.